Hello, my name is John Foxwell. Many of you know me from the Pompe support team, and I'm always available if anybody needs any help. Today I'd like to talk about the BiPap machine. Now, many of us with Pompe use a BiPap, not all. Some don't need it. For me, it's been a lifesaver. I found I had Pompe 5 years ago, and one of the main factors for Pompe for me was the fact that my core muscles are fairly useless. I can't bend down, I can't get back up, but the big thing was the fact that I struggled to breathe. At the time I was running an international company, and whereas most people think, oh, I'll book a nice hotel room with a nice bed, a comfy restaurant and all the rest of it, for me it was a case of ringing up and saying, have you got a good chair to sit in? Because I couldn't lie down. Having a paralyzed diaphragm meant that as soon as I reclined, I stopped breathing. So for me, wonderful hotels, great countries, but I sat up in a chair all day and all night. This caused me to, when I came home, go back to see the doctors who were baffled. When I returned to Wales, I went to visit my doctor and complained about the symptoms I was facing, and he sent me to see a neurologist. Now, at the same time, they also referred me to a respiratory consultant who identified the problem with my breathing straight away. And that was that rather than having trouble breathing in, I wasn't breathing out enough carbon dioxide, and he suggested that I use a BiPap machine. Now, a BiPap machine is a bi-level positive air pressure machine, and it effectively breathes in and out for me. The difference was when I turned up on the first day at the hospital and he said, try this. He put a face mask on and I thought, oh, I'm sure I like this. Within a few minutes I dropped off to sleep, and within an hour I'd woken up and I felt like a new person. It was phenomenal. The use of a BiPap made a dramatic difference to my life. It changed the way I can do everything. When you get a BiPap machine, the first thing they do is give you a full face mask. Not everyone likes them. Some people get scared by having the mask on their face, they feel enclosed. I found that the first time I thought I didn't like this, but after a short while I find it very comforting. It goes on. The only problem with having a face mask, a full face mask for me, is what I call my misery lines. They make me look really miserable. Now, lots of things I could do about it. They do tell me to moisturise, but I'm afraid I'm not into moisturising. The other option, of course, is I could always wear earbands and pull my skin back, and I'd look much younger, but to be honest, people take me for what I am, and my misery lines as well. There are other options for face masks. The full face mask, as I've said, great, works well for me. I use that at night. There is a nasal mask, and that works really well if you're not a mouth breather. Now, I tend to use a nasal mask when I'm driving, so if I'm going to travel a long distance, I put it on. It's brilliant. It gives me that extra boost when I get to where I'm going to feel that I can cope. Not everyone suits them, but they're worth a try. A friend of mine suggested I give it a go, and he was right. It's a useful thing to have. I'd also suggest that if you're speaking to your consultant, you always have a second machine. It's very difficult when you've only got one machine and something goes wrong. The other thing I would suggest is that you have a battery pack. Now, these are quite expensive, but they work exceptionally well. So I have my machine by the side of my bed, plugged into a battery pack all the time, so that if there's a power cut, I won't notice it for 12 hours. Now, all being well, that'll get me through the night, but the reality is that you can't afford your BiPap not to work. Don't forget that if you're using a BiPap or you're struggling with your breathing, to use the medical alert card. The AGSD has a free medical alert card that gives people the basic warnings. Don't lie you flat, don't give you high flow oxygen. The other thing you can do is when you speak to your consultant, the British Thoracic Society has a card that tells people the limit they can give you. So if you have to have high flow oxygen for every reason, there is a minimal limit that will actually help you, or a maximum limit that you can take. Mine is 88 to 93 litres, and this is really useful to know, only because if ever I have to have any surgery, then there is a limit and people are aware of it first. So BiPap machines, very useful, always have one with you. Make sure you get a second one, and don't forget to carry a medical alert card. It's vital.